So we're back in the shop working on the old SRX here, and if you've been following along, you know this old girl's got just over 18,000 K on the clock, and although I'm totally confident with the sled as a whole, there's a couple things that are getting a little loose, like the front suspension here. The suspension has a bunch of bushings and rod ends that over time all wear just a little bit, but taken together, all these little areas of wear can add up to a pretty loose suspension. On the ground, you never notice with the sled just sitting there, but as the suspension loads and unloads going down the trail or through the corners, this wear can start to work against you, creating a very darty, unpredictable feeling snowmobile. On this sled, there's nothing that's really broken or about to fail, just worn out a little bit, and I want to tighten up the feel of the chassis. Now, I ordered all the parts through Kimpex, which had just about everything I needed to replace the problem bushings and rod ends. I'm also going to change out both trailing arms because these things, they're built like pop cans, super strong if there's no damage, but wrinkles like this means they can fold up on even a small hit, causing potentially more damage, so they're going away. Kimpex only had black trailing arms, but each of the stock silver ones had damage anyways, so I'm going to change them both. Now, one item I am reusing is the pivot bushing, so to get it out, I'm cutting it out of the OE arm with a death wheel before it hits the scrap bin. Next, the used bushing will have to get pushed into the new arm with a press, which is the only specialized piece of equipment needed for this whole rebuild, although a big bench vise would work as well. I'm also replacing the 4 upper and lower radius rods. So with the new rod ends installed and the new outer plastic bushings in place, everything gets reassembled back into the chassis. But before going back in, it's a good idea to match the links as close as you can to the original pieces. I found these new rods ended up just a bit longer than the original Yamaha ones, so that will have some effect on the geometry in the steering that I'll have to address later. The good thing about this job is that it's pretty basic wrenching and none of the parts are very expensive, but the results can really improve the ride quality of an older, high-mile sled like this SRX. And if you order the parts online from Kimpex, they even deliver them right to your door. All right, there we go. All the suspension's back together and it feels a lot better than it used to. Hopefully all the dardiness that we were getting out of this machine is going to be completely gone. But before it hits the snow, obviously I got to get the pipes back in, but I also need to check to make sure that the camber is correct and that my toe out on the skis is correct, but that'll be for another episode. Now, figure these things out.